Hey everybody, welcome to my Suburban Oasis. So I'm going to introduce you to some new plants today, and we're going to put some of them in the ground. My name's Soleil and I garden in a Zone 5B here in Michigan. If you're enjoying my channel so far, give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel and even hit that notification bell. It's a little bit humid out today because we just got some pouring rain. And I got some plants I'm super excited to show you. So the first one is a blue salvia. This one is blue marble, and you can see it has beautiful flowers. I have some of these already, but I'm actually going to use these to replace 2 annual salvias that I have. I'm very excited about that. So I got 2 of those. These are excellent plants for sun, and they grow down to zone 4, and they are deer and rabbit resistant, which is very important for me. And they stay about 10 to 12 inches high and about 10 to 12 inches wide. So they don't get super big. They're a really nice front of the border plant. In addition to that, I got a couple of these. I already planted one. These are asters. This is the Pink Magic Aster. I love it. It's beautiful. I'm so happy to have some additional ones because my others are not ready for dividing. And the Pink Magic Aster is hardy down to zone 4 as well. And it grows to about 2 inches tall and wide. So it's a beautiful plant. It stays rather small throughout the season until the end of summer, where it really gets pretty big and begins to show its blooms. So I'm excited to see that one as well. I've got some plants for shade. These are astilbes, and this version is the Vision astilbe, which will have a pink flower, somewhat similar probably to the container that it's in. It is fairly bright, and I'm really excited about these because I'm going to plant these in the back where I have an open space. These are also hardy down to zone 4. So astilbes are great for shade. And these need to be spaced about 18 inches, so they get about 18 inches high and about 18 inches wide. Just a wonderful size. They're also deer resistant. So I have 3 of those, and I'm really looking forward to planting those. Even though there's only 3 of the plant buckets, cans, I may have more than 1 plant in each of these, which would be fantastic because I will then divide them and separate them out for a more full presentation within the garden. So those are going to be lovely next year. And then what we're going to plant today are these daisies. Now I don't have any daisies. These are called the Goldfinch Shasta daisy. And all of these plants were bought on clearance, you guys. So they don't look super fantastic. I've spent a lot of time getting rid of all of this grumpy old foliage that was pretty dead because they didn't provide adequate care conditions for them in the nursery. But I got 6 of these. I also have one other one that I got the other day, and I decided to go back for more because I'm going to use these in my front bed. I really want to replace some of the hostas that are out there that are in pretty much full sun that do get a bit crispy towards the end of the year and also do not really provide a whole lot in terms of interest. So I think these are going to make a great addition. These are the Goldfinch Shasta daisy. They like full sun, and they grow to about 24 inches tall and 24 inches wide. So they're pretty, they're not super huge, but I'm going to use them probably in the front of the border. And I do want to let you know that at the end of this video, after I do the planting, we'll also show you the tags and all of the information on them. So if you haven't gotten all the information I've shared, it will be part of the end of the video. So there'll be pictures of the tags as well as pictures of the individual plants. So stay tuned if you want that information. All right, let's take some of these out to the front garden bed and get these planted. So these hostas right here are some that are really not doing a whole lot for me, not making it look great. So we're going to pull a couple of them out, and we're going to put the Shasta daisies in here. I'm going to put one right here in this hole. I'm going to pull out this hosta, and then we're going to put another Shasta daisy over there and then figure out where the other one goes. So let's dig a hole. I don't know about you guys, but I really love planting after it rains because when it rains, it's like the soil is so much more easy to work with. can see this one's a bit root bound with the roots going around it. What I do is I just pull that circle off entirely. It just helps the roots to begin branching out again. The other thing that I've experienced with plants is that sometimes they don't grow that well when they are in too much of this peat material that the growers like to put the plants in. So I'm really just pulling the roots out and being pretty brutal here, but the plant will actually like it. These won't do much this year, but my goal is not for this year. My goal is planting these for them to take root, establish themselves, and then look amazing next year. I might still get a few flowers on them. You can see since I trimmed them back just the other day, they actually look really healthy and are coming back quite well. So I may get some additional flowers yet this year if I'm lucky. So I'm just going to leave that hosta there, and we're going to dig this one out right here. Maybe what's in this soil here. All right, here we go. These are some of my unnamed hostas that were here when I first bought the house, and have been dividing them and using them as what I call filler hostas throughout the yard in places where I need plants. But you can see they don't really like the sunshine as much as these daisies will. And this is the south side of this garden bed, so it's pretty much full sun. You might be able to hear some thunder as well while I'm planting. We've been having rain on and off this evening. So again, I've got a nice hole going. This one actually is not root bound at all, which is interesting to me. So I'm just going to get all of that peat off of it. One of the things that I've noticed about some things that don't perform very well is that there may be something that's around the bottom of it that kind of chokes it out. So I like to check for that as much as possible. It's like the little plug that they put around it in the nursery. Now, what I'm doing here is just mixing the peat into the soil along with some of the mulch. And then we'll push it back around there. Got plenty of mulch in this bed to cover it back up, but this will just help to make sure it has good contact with both organic material as well as the nutrients that are in the natural soil here. There's actually nothing really nutritious in peat. So, all right, that looks great. Let's do one more. So these hostas are a little bit harder to see because the mums have grown forward over time, but I'm just digging these up and we're going to replace them as well. And these daisies are really special. They have an extra long bloom time. They're fairly yellow. The one thing that I don't really like about daisies and why I haven't had them is because I think I don't know, there's something about the fact that they're white with a yellow center that just doesn't appeal that much to me. But these have a really frilly edge to them. And in addition to the frilly edge, they also have a very prolonged bloom time. And they look really pretty to me because they're kind of this buttery yellow. And again, I've been trying to incorporate yellow a little bit more into my landscape. You may have heard me talk about it before because I don't usually use yellow. I especially don't usually use red or yellow. I don't know why, it just hasn't appealed to me, but these do because of the color. So check out, definitely check out the picture and the tag at the end of this video so you can see what I'm talking about because they are a very unique plant. All right, let's see what the roots on this one look like. Not bad, not very root bound. So we'll get some of this off. Again, we'll just put the peat moss back into the hole. Maybe it is a little root bound after all. I wish I could have got these for a little bit better of a deal because they looked really bad. But I was actually eyeing them because I actually go to the store fairly regularly to check out plants, and I was hoping they would go on sale. So when they did, I wanted to get enough of them to provide an impact without having to wait a couple of years to divide them. Now chances are, if this is a good grower like it's supposed to be, let me dig that hole a little deeper. But if this is a good grower like it's supposed to be, then by the end of next year I probably will be able to divide it. And if I like it, I will probably add it to some other spaces as well. And I'm just gonna let these mums kind of hover over it for now. There's nothing really wrong with it. I might pull a couple of these out here. Let me grab the front too. There we go. These mums are fantastic. I've had them for years and I just put them all over the garden and come back every year for me. Well, it's thundering a lot and we've got 3 plants in so far and it's starting to rain again, so I guess we'll go inside. A little bit of a short video for you guys, but I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the plant tags and we'll see you next time. Bye!